Without further ado, the elementary school music and creative writing theater arts students present an evening of tall tales and legends. Enjoy the show.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to our Gifted and Talented Spring Symposium. Tonight, we'll be listening to some classic American selections performed by the G&T Music Department. To go along with our musical selections, the G&T Creative Writing and Theater Arts Department will be performing some Reader's Theater's versions of the traditional American tall tales.
In its early years, America was a wild, new country filled with thick, dark towers, towering mountains, and deserts with endless plains. While heading west, settlers encountered many difficulties: clearing paths in huge forests, poor weather, ferocious animals, and crossing rivers and mountains, to name a few.
Taming these lands was a difficult job for pioneers. Wherever people settled and worked hard to survive, tales of a larger-than-life characters were told and retold. The heroes and heroines of these tales were like the land itself, gigantic, restless, and lively. As people do, they stretched the truth. Characters of these stories began to do superhuman things, like cut down a tree with one swing or lasso a tornado.
Their exaggerated feats of endurance and bravery helped give the settlers courage and encouragement. As well as entertainment, they faced the difficulties of frontier life. These tales also offered outrageous explanations for the amazing sights the settlers encountered on the vast, rugged lands they'd come to inhabit.
Tonight, you will meet some of the heroes and heroines of these tales and listen to some music inspired by shred, spirit, and endurance of Americans. So sit back and enjoy a night of tall tales and music.
Our first folk hero is Riverboat Annie, one of the original female American heroes. Riverboat Annie was a former slave who worked on the docks of the Mississippi River near the French Quarter in New Orleans.
She was 7 feet tall, extremely strong, and absolutely fearless. It was said that she could unload a boat faster than any man. According to legend, Annie wore a long bead necklace, which each bead representing a man she had beaten in a keelboat race.
Annie's strength served her well as a keelboat pilot. In case you don't know, keelboats are large flat-bottomed boats that are moved along the water using a long oar. Annie was the only woman who owned her own keelboat, and she hauled cotton, flour, lumber, and even passengers.
Most keelboat drivers could haul heavy loads down the powerful Mississippi, but only Annie could haul heavy loads upriver against the tide.
Although some folks believe the character of Riverboat Annie was based on a real woman who lived prior to the Civil War, no one is really sure.
What we do know for sure is that Annie represents the strength and hard work of African American women, as well as those who worked on the Mississippi, helping to transport goods and people across the mighty river to the western lands that lay beyond the banks.
Let's head to New Orleans for the tale of Riverboat Annie.
Hey, do you remember Riverboat Annie?
Yup, she was some gal.
All 7 feet of her.
But not everyone was fond of her, remember?
Nope, no siree, no man wanted to admit that a woman could be a better riverboat sailor than he was.
But she was the best.
I remember when we first met her.
Hello, sailors.
Evening, ma'am.
Say, what's with that necklace you're wearing? It must be nearly 30 feet long.
Yup, and it may get even longer. I'd beat to it every time I beat a man in a riverboat race.
What? A pretty thing like you? You couldn't scare anyone.
We may want to talk to that gentleman over there. He didn't believe me either.
You mean the one over there with the tears in his eyes?
That's the one.
Okay, we believe you.
So, where are you off to dressed so fancy?
I thought I'd treat myself on a night of dancing on your fine ship. I tied my riverboat to the back.
Well, who have we here?
Riverboat Annie, Captain.
Riverboat Annie? I've heard about you.
Oh, you have?
Folks say you're the best riverboat driver in the South.
hard to believe.
And why is it so hard to believe?
No offense, ma'am, but you're a woman, and everyone knows a woman can't be the best.
You can believe what you want. I'm just here to have a good night on your boat tonight.
Well, okay, but I don't want any trouble. You hear?
So begin at a night I'll never forget.
Annie had a fun night, dancing and singing.
Then the storm hit.
Looks like a big storm coming in. We better turn around, Captain.
Listen here, lady. I'm the captain of the ship, and I say we keep going.
But we're heading through a thin channel. We'll never fit.
I said I didn't want any trouble from you. Now go back to your dancing.
The water was rough.
The boat was tossing all over the place.
Look at those dark clouds.
Oh no, did you see that lightning?
There's a storm coming, and it's coming in fast. Many of the other passengers were scared. So was I.
The water's getting rougher and rougher. The waves are getting higher and higher.
Look, there's trouble ahead. The ship's gonna ram right into those rocks.
I hope we don't crash. Smash into the shore.
I think I'm going to faint.
What are we gonna do?
Captain, the passengers are worried. I'm worried too. Please turn this boat around.
Captain, sir, maybe the lady's right.
Sailor, if you want to keep your job, you better hush up.
But Annie has a point. This boat's moving forward, and that's that.
Listen here, passengers. I have an idea. My riverboat tied to the back. I can take you all to safety.
Can you really?
Who's coming with me?
I am. Show me the way. That boat is much smaller than this one. It might sink. Maybe we should stay put.
We have a better chance with Annie. She's the best riverboat driver anywhere.
You're right. Come with us. You'll drown if you don't. Okay, I'm going with Annie.
Is there room, Annie?
Plenty of room, but we got to go now. Sailors, are you with me?
Aye, aye, Captain Annie.
So off we went. Annie pulled that riverboat like no one I've ever seen.
But the waves were strong and the boat was moving slowly. We're never gonna make it to shore in time.
This is terrible. And I'm afraid we're going way too slow.
You're right. I'm gonna tie this rope around my waist and tie the other end to the boat.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna walk this baby in.
And that's what Annie did. She walked through the choppy river and brought the boat safely to shore.
Yeah.
Thank you, Annie. We never would have made it without you.
We'll never forget this night. We're so grateful. We never did see that captain again.
No, but we saw a lot more of Riverboat Annie.
Yup, we started working for her. We also became friends.
I sure do miss her.
But we'll always have great memories of Riverboat Annie,
the Queen of Mississippi.
In the early days of America, women endured the same hardship as men as they tried to carve a life out the wilderness.
They helped build cabins, cleared land for planting, hauled water from springs, grew cotton for clothes, and hunted wild animals.
One fictional heroine of American folklore was Sally Ann Thunder Ann Whirlwind. According to legend, she was strong and fearless, square danced with bears, fought crocodiles, and wore a hornet's nest for a hat.
Sally Ann represents the rugged woman who struggled to make a life for themselves and their families in the rough frontier lands of our new country.
Get ready to meet Sally Ann Thunder Ann Whirlwind.
A long time ago, a baby girl was born in Kentucky. But she wasn't just any ordinary child. The moment she was born, she caused the many whirlwinds from all her hollering.
She's got a smile like the sunrise and the face of an angel.
What should we name her? Maybe Ellie?
I was thinking about Cassie.
I'm Sally Thunder and Whirlwind.
You can talk?
She can talk?
Why, sure. I could outrun, out-talk, and out-swim any baby in Kentucky.
You're a whirlwind, all right.
Unfortunately, her sister was mighty jealous of her.
Let's race to the top of the mountain.
Everyone knows babies can't run.
Just watch me.
You girls better be careful, all right?
Sally ran up the mountain and back. By the time her sister got to the top, Sally Ann was already back home.
That was great. Great for you, maybe.
That was a pretty amazing race.
Later, Sally Ann felt like swimming. Are you up for a swim race?
Not me, I'm B. You can't swim anyway.
Oh, yes, I can.
You're just telling fibs.
I love to swim.
You better be careful.
Sally Ann jumped into the water and started juggling fish. And her sister finally had to admit she was something special.
How did you catch so many fish?
I don't know. They just seem to come to me.
Well, Sally Ann, I guess we're okay after all.
Fire up the griddle. It's time for a fish fry.
Sally Ann grew and so did her appetite for adventure. After a few years, she was ready to try living on her own.
I think I'm gonna go live out in the woods.
Why would you do that?
I need some new challenges.
Won't you be scared?
I'm not afraid of anything.
I don't approve, but I can see you need some new adventure.
That's for sure.
Well, be careful out there in the wild.
Wish me some luck.
Knowing you, we'd better wish the wild some luck.
Sally Ann hibernated with bears, sang wolves to sleep, and ran with wildcats too. One day, she heard a man yelling. She found a man pinned against a tree by a huge grizzly bear.
Help, somebody help me.
Looks like you got a problem there, partner.
I sure do, little lady.
1, I'm not little. And 2, I'm not just lady. I could out jump, out dance, and outlast a water body.
Well, can you take care of this critter for me?
Well, I guess I can't just leave you here. I hope you're all right.
Much obliged.
Now, go on, as fast as you can.
Yes, ma'am, but what about you?
Don't worry about me.
Sally Ann dealt with the bear, and Davy was very grateful.
Well, I owe you a big thanks, ma'am.
You're welcome.
What did you do about that bear?
That bear and I go way back.
You know that bear?
Sure, I just had to get his attention.
That old grizzly was fixing to make me his dinner.
I know. I just had to remind him that he ain't supposed to be inhumans.
Just how did you get his attention?
I just tossed him one of my homemade biscuits.
Homemade biscuits.
No critter like was this my biscuits.
You are one remarkable gal.
Sally Ann thundering, where would I could out, kick out, yell it out, smart out a critter around.
Sally Ann and Davy got to walking and talking. They realized they both loved hunting, fishing, and living in the wild. Pretty soon, they decided to get married, and they became the heroes of the frontier men and women throughout the land.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. Toot, toot. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. Toot, toot. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. Toot, toot. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. Whoa, back. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. Whoa, back. She'll be driving 6 white horses. She'll be driving 6 white horses. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. Whoa, back. And we'll all go out to greet her when she comes. Hi there. And we'll all go out to greet her when she comes. Hi there. And we'll all go out to greet her. And we'll all go out to greet her. And we'll all go out to greet her when she comes. Hi there. She'll be wearing pink pajamas when she comes. So soft. She'll be wearing pink pajamas when she comes. So soft. She'll be wearing pink pajamas. She'll be wearing pink pajamas. She'll be wearing pink pajamas when she comes. So soft. She'll be blowing giant bubbles when she comes. Hop, hop. She'll be blowing giant bubbles when she comes. Hop, hop. She'll be blowing giant bubbles. She'll be blowing giant bubbles. She'll be blowing giant bubbles when she comes. Pop, pop. She'll be bringing 2 big drums when she comes. Boom, boom. Pop, pop. So soft. Hi there. Whoa, back. Toot, toot. She'll be bringing 2 big drums when she comes. Boom, boom. Pop, pop. So soft. Hi there. Whoa, back. Toot, toot. She'll be bringing 2 big drums. She'll be bringing 2 big drums. She'll be bringing 2 big drums when she comes. Boom, boom. Pop, pop. So soft. Hi there. Whoa, back. Toot, toot. And done. Yeehaw!
Johnny Appleseed was an American folk character based on a real man named Johnny Catlin, who was born in Massachusetts in the late 1700s.
It is believed he got the name Appleseed from the Shawnee Indians, who called him the Appleseed Man. Johnny Appleseed spent over 40 years traveling around the country planting apple seeds, and he was well known for his kindness to both people and animals.
Thanks to Johnny, pioneers who settled in the western lands were able to grow their own apple trees and provide food for their families.
Johnny Appleseed represents the amazing immigrants who contributed to the growth of our country by introducing and growing new crops. Please enjoy our version of the tale of Johnny Appleseed.
When John was just a young man, he started planting apple orchards.
He had a talent for growing the very best apples.
When he saw all the pioneers heading out west, he wanted to join them on the new frontier.
Hey, Johnny, how do you get those trees so big and those apples so red?
Well, I work hard to make them grow, but I can't take all the credit.
Who helps you?
The sun, the rain, and the seeds work just as hard as I do. Without them, there wouldn't be any apples at all.
Listen, Johnny, why do you come out west with us?
Oh, I'd like to, but I'm afraid I'm not very strong.
You might not be strong, but you do have courage.
What could I do?
You're a whiz at growing apple trees.
How would that help on the wild frontier?
People love apples. You can make lots of things with them.
People do enjoy apples.
And food will be hard to find out there in the west.
I reckon that's true.
Nobody can grow an apple orchard like you, Johnny. You have plenty to do on that wild frontier.
Johnny decided he would go out west.
So he wore a pot on his head to make it easier to carry.
Then he took a bag of apple seeds and followed the pioneers.
Johnny walked all over the frontier planting apple seeds and handing out apple seeds to settlers.
Seeds! Apple seeds! Come get your apple seeds!
Greetings, stranger. Now who might you be?
Well, hello there. I'm Johnny Appleseed.
Have you come to settle here?
I'm here planting apple seeds to grow some apple trees.
I love apples.
Here, take some seeds so you can grow your own orchard.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome. Now let's go find a place to plant these seeds.
But we're not sure how.
All you need is some good soil, some gentle rain, and plenty of sunshine.
Johnny was always happy to help the settlers.
Soon his apple trees were sprouting up all over the country.
And legends about Johnny Appleseed are spreading up all over the country too.
That Johnny Appleseed sure is some fella.
He taught me how to plant apple seeds, and now I have plenty of apples to feed my family.
I hear he just loves all living creatures.
You don't say.
Once, he found a wolf with his leg stuck in a trap. Johnny freed that wolf and stayed with that critter until it was all healed.
Is that so? My cousin told me that Johnny sleeps up in the trees.
In the trees?
Yep, he even tells the birds not to eat any fresh planted apple seeds.
That Johnny Appleseed sure is something special.
He is indeed.
Throughout his life, Johnny planted apple seeds.
He also planted seeds of courage and hope that gave pioneers bravery and strength for the hard work that they do.
Johnny Appleseed was friendly and helpful to everyone, and words of his kind deeds spread throughout the land.
Many times people held apple harvest festivals. If Johnny happened to be traveling by, he would join these celebrations.
Johnny Appleseed, how can we ever thank you for all these wonderful apple trees?
We use those apples every day.
We make apple tarts and apple pie,
Apple sauce and apple muffins.
Apple dumplings and apple butter.
apple cider, and baked apples too.
You're very welcome, but I'm not looking for thanks. It's enough to know that my apples have brought neighbors together.
Are you ever gonna stop planting, Johnny?
I'll stop when the whole wilderness is covered with apple trees.
That will be wonderful.
The new settlers will love those apples as much as we do.
Apples are good. Apples are sweet. Apples are so good to eat. Apple trees grow so tall in the sun. I'll plant apple trees for everyone.
Johnny spent his life trying to help others.
He even planted special herbs that the settlers were able to use to help heal sick people.
Johnny Appleseed spent over 40 years of his life traveling and planting apple seeds.
Giving away apple seeds and making sure the land was filled with apple orchards.
I lived my dream. My work is done. There are plenty of apples for everyone. This land is great and will be greater still as long as folks have hope and goodwill.
tales of a man from Boston town. He was born in 1775 and they named him Jonathan. Now John was gentle, John was kind, he always lent a hand. He loved the people, loved the beasts, and he loved his lovely land. Oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed, oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed. Now Johnny gathered apple seeds from apple cider press. The Pennsylvania Indic trails he followed to the west. His heavy leather sack of seeds he carried on his way. And at each pretty place he saw, he'd plant seeds every day. Oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed, oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed. While Johnny's hair was long and dark, his whiskers never shaved. His eyes were black and sparkled bright. He was small and lean and brave. An old tin pen was Johnny's hat, a coffee sack, his shirt. His feet were bare in sun and snow, and it never seemed to hurt. Oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed, oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed. The bears and wolves and deers and birds were loved by John, my friend. And even insects, plants, and trees were lovingly we would tend. In the Indiana tent went there, and John was loved by all. The children gathered round to hear the stories he recalled. Oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed, oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed. Gathered in his many years, John rambled in our land, and everywhere he planted seeds, now apple orchards stand. We loved the apples Johnny gave us with his gentle deed, but we loved him most of all because he was Johnny Appleseed. Oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed, oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed, oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed, oh, Johnny Appleseed, Johnny Appleseed.
Gather around, folks, to hear the legend of Pecos Bill, the very first cowboy and the greatest cowboy ever known. He was a larger-than-life cowhand who created all the tricks of the ranching trade. According to folklore, Pecos Bill rode anything and everything in the Wild West, including a mountain lion, a tornado, and a wild Mustang called Widowmaker. He was also known to wrestle the poison out of rattlesnakes and use them as lassos to rope steer. Pecos Bill appears in stories about other tall tale heroes as well. Even though Pecos Bill was a fictional character, he captured the spirit of the early West, rough, untamed, and wild. Here are a few storytellers to tell you all about Pecos Bill. Anybody have any stories to tell?
The best stories are always about Pecos Bill.
Oh yeah, I had met Pecos Bill when he had just become a cowboy.
Me too. He was like no cowboy I'd ever seen before.
I heard that he rode a mountain lion instead of a horse and wore a rattlesnake as a belt.
That's true.
When Bill was only a baby, his family crossed the Pecos River in a wagon. Bill fell out, but his parents didn't notice, and Bill got left behind.
When he got thirsty, he drank the Pecos River. That's how he got the name Pecos Bill.
He told me once that coyotes raised him and his best friend was a bear.
They wrestled all the time.
After many years, Pecos Bill was found by his long-lost brother.
He was still living with the coyotes.
He would throw back his head and howl instead of speaking, so his brother taught him how to talk.
I'll never forget the time I saw Pecos Bill win a lasso contest against 2 other cowboys.
The first cowboy threw his lasso around a tree that was 1 mile away.
The second cowboy lassoed a tree that was 2 miles away.
Pecos Bill threw his lasso so high into the air that he caught the moon.
I was with Pecos Bill when he met his wife named Sue.
He saw her riding down a river on a catfish that was the size of a whale.
He lassoed Sue and they got married right away.
Remember the time we heard Pecos Bill sing? His cowboy song was so calm that it put all the cattle to sleep.
When we woke up the next morning, the cows were still sleeping.
They would not wake up no matter how much noise we made.
The cows were sleepwalking for a week.
Another time, Pecos Bill heard a cattle stampede starting up.
The stampede was 3 states away.
Pecos Bill took the saddle off his mountain lion and went and found a cyclone.
He put his saddle on the cyclone, rode away as fast as lightning, and arrived just in time to stop the stampede.
Hey, what's that sound? It's coming from over where we tied up the horses for the night.
Excuse me, I'd like to offer my 2 cents.
A talking horse? I can't believe my ears.
Somebody pinch me. I must be dreaming.
That's right, I'm a talking horse and I really knew Pecos Bill.
This is unbelievable.
I don't think any of you ever met Pecos Bill, and your silly stories are making my man sit on end.
Well, I'm fit to be tied.
Now I'll tell you a real Pecos Bill story. One time, Pecos Bill was hungry for pancakes, but it was 3 in the afternoon. The camp cook refused to make pancakes so late in the day, so the Pecos Bill simply stopped the earth.
Stop the earth?
That's impossible.
Not for Pecos Bill. He used a stirrup to spin the earth backwards faster and faster.
Now that's the rootinest, tootinest thing I ever did here.
Pretty soon, time was moving in reverse. He kept going until it was back to morning. Then he ordered up pancakes piled 50 feet high and ate them in one gulp.
Now that's a story.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. How often at night, when the heavens are bright with the light from the glittering stars, have I stood there amazed and asked as I gazed if the glory exceeds all ours. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. So pure, cause at first so free, like birds and me and light. But joy not exchange my home on the range
city so bright. On the range,
Where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Of those wildflowers in the dear land of ours, the curlew I love to hear scream. And I love those white rocks and the antelope flocks that graze on the mountain tops green. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
Thanks to our campfire storytellers, you all heard about Pecos Bill. But I bet you're just itching to hear more about Pecos Bill and his wife, Slewfoot Sue. Slewfoot Sue was one determined young lady. She decided she could do anything a cowboy could do, and went on to become quite a rider and a skilled shooter too. It's no wonder Pecos Bill fell for her. Let's hear a bit more about the adventures of Pecos Bill and Slewfoot Sue.
Howdy, folks. We're here to tell you the story of our friend, Pecos Bill and his wife, Slewfoot Sue.
Hey folks, watch this one.
Great going, Bill. You sure know how to throw a rope.
Lots of practice, that's the name of the game. Hey, what's that out there on the river?
Looks like some gal on a boat. That's no boat.
It's a catfish. That gal's running a giant catfish.
Howdy. What brings you to this part of good old Texas?
We're just practicing throwing our lassos.
Afternoon, ma'am. That's a nice fish you got there.
Thank you. Her name's Kitty. She takes me up and down this here river.
That's a mighty big fish.
Yep. Hey, who's your friend?
Oh, this here's Bill. Pecos Bill. Say hello to the lady, Bill.
What should I say?
For the first time in his life, Bill was speechless. This was the woman of his dreams.
Why is your friend so quiet?
Guess the cat's got his tongue. Or maybe the catfish.
Miss, would you marry me?
What? You're asking her to get married? But you two just met.
Well, sir, I hardly know you, but you look like a kind man. Is he a kind man?
The best there is. You bet.
Well, all right then.
Yeehaw!
One day, Sue had her eye on Bill's horse.
That's a mighty fine horse you got there.
That's Widowmaker.
Why'd you name him that?
Because when any other man rides him, he makes that man's wife a widow.
Well, I'm no man. Mind if I ride him?
Well, I promised Widowmaker that no one else would ever ride him.
Well, oh, come on, please.
Well, I guess it's okay. Go right ahead.
Bill, are you crazy?
No, let her give it a try. She's a strong gal.
Well, that was a mistake. As soon as Sue got on Widowmaker's back, he bucked and kicked and off flew Sue. Right up into the sky.
She came right down, but her skirt was so bouncy, she bounced right back up and stayed there, stuck on the moon.
Would you look at that? Woo! What are you doing, Bill?
The woman of my dreams is gone. It makes me want to howl.
Woo! Well, I guess there's nothing we can do.
Oh, no, sirree, you're wrong. Watch me lasso her down from there.
And that's just what Bill did.
Thank you, Bill.
Bill and Sue lived happily after that. But not everyone in Texas was happy. Man alive, it's dry as a bone out here.
It's been 2 months since we've seen rain. All the wells have dried up. I'm so thirsty.
Our crops are dying.
My chickens are laying eggs that are already fried.
We need some rain.
Have mercy on us.
It's dry indeed.
Hey, Bill, I have an idea.
What is it, Sue?
Well, remember when I took that trip to the sky and back?
I sure do.
Well, while I was up there, I noticed there's a Big Dipper and a Little Dipper.
Yep, those stars sure are pretty.
They're not just pretty, those dippers are filled with water.
So,
Grab your rope.
what for?
We're gonna rope those dippers in.
And that's just what they did.
Wow, look at them go.
They're pouring water over the whole state of Texas.
Water, finally. I can't believe it.
At last, it's a miracle.
We're saved.
So are our crops.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks indeed.
You're very welcome.
That was fun.
It's a great day for Texas.
Hey, let's celebrate with a big hoedown.
Great idea. Let's go.
Yeehaw!
song that we are going to be doing is called the Pop Bottom Bow Down, and we have a guest artist who is going to be playing the piano for us, and his name is Mr. Joe. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Yeah. One, two.
Thinking right now it's
Carbonated orchestra, tuned to different sounds, warming up their 10-ounce throats, getting ready for the ball down. Nurse Dr. Pepper, coming from the right, neck to neck with Mountain Dew, tables looking alright. All because the ginger ale trotted through the door, joining up with Welsh straight for the drinking and swear. It's more, turn to the root beer, back to the orange, to the tea. Prominent church, let it tell you, both 7 up, both 7 up. Your partner by the cap, please be sure it's time. Swing her high and swing her low, let's make some bubbles tonight. Lead the fresca to the left, then the lemon lime. Do-si-do, refreshing skirt, keep those flavors in time. Holding on to